We got this. We're coming into the Great Awakening. That's the overall picture. What does it look like? Wow. Brian Best, spiritualbeancoffee.com. If you're in Prescott, Arizona, I'd recommend you stop by and get a cup of Brian's delicious brew. You should buy a bag while you're there. It's amazing, organic, totally organic coffee. We've been working on the ranch today. Happily, my best days are when we're working. I can't think of anything that I would rather do, and I fully intend to continue building my house forever. I don't think it'll ever be finished in that sense. I've highlighted some special videos that I've procured, that I've isolated, and I think you'll find them interesting. One is about tokenization and the real meaning behind tokenization in terms of sovereignty, in terms of you and I owning our own money and getting to do creative things with it at all times. The other aspect, the other thing I wanted to do was talk about timelines and the timeline shift surrounding the JFK assassination, supposed assassination. There were some other things. I also wanted to highlight a thing by Peter Schiff about the value of fiat and the value of gold, the counterculture and the counterculture thing. I want to do a thing, a show talking about. I saw there's a lot of attention now being being shared about how the hippie movement was a creation of the CIA, and how this all fits together. To this is for thinking people. Also, in terms of my own personal success, I've been thinking about it lately. I've been thinking about, well, I've been doing this for like 10 years. I don't make I make like $100 a month on my videos. I make a little bit on LifeWave, but I thought to myself, well, what do I expect? And another aspect, and I want to share this. Let me get the chats going. I want to share this. Thank you, uh, Brian Gullen. Nice to see you, Danny Hart. Yeah. I wanted to share a thought with you and just kind of like see what you think. And the thought was like this. I We're watching this series called Travelers, and things happen where a person who is absolutely, like a saint, literally a saint. He just like there's a character in this Netflix series. He's a saint, and he's about to die, and his girlfriend, who loves him very much, or is pleading with the director. The director is actually AI, which is not so far fetched. But and I'm going to go into this in I mean this my channel is for people who think, and I'm going to talk about my success also. But the so the people, the travelers, are pleading to the director, the which in Yiddish we call it the Abishter, which means the conductor, which is a beautiful way to think of godliness, of the divine as the conductor. So here's the thing that I want to ask you, and I'm not clear about it. We struggle financially here. It'll be, I had 60,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I was making $15,000 a month, which I thought was amazing. For about 3 months that lasted, and then I've been canceled ever since. But the thing is like this: the is it okay? Is it okay for me to complain to God? to complain to the Abisher, to the director, and say like, hey man, I've been out here doing this work for 10 years. I lost my job. I don't get paid for it. I do it because I love it. But at what point am I is it permissible or is it advisable? I've taken the liberty. Okay, let me phrase it a different way. I've taken the liberty to say, hey man, this is fucked up, man. I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm going down to Home Depot, and James and I were deciding whether or not we should get two sheets of plywood or three. James, who's smarter than me, finally decided, he was lobbying for two sheets so we would have money left over to buy ice cream. I mean, I'm putting out there are tens of thousands of people, I don't know. So I'm feeling like I'm ready to complain. There is a kind of a thing like, well, I just accept my fate. It's like, I don't make any money. It's okay. It's not okay. It's fucking bullshit. I lost my job. I never had, I'm not going to get into the complaining mode, but I'm just saying I believe that it is in my sights and fully acceptable for me to complain to the director to say, this is really fucked up. I don't get paid. I want to get paid. I'm doing this. A lot of people depend on me to some degree. I hear people, they call me and say, Elliot, you get me, you've been getting me through all this time and all this other stuff. And I'm not asking you for money. It should, I mean, my mother, God bless her soul, sent us $200. We got to town. I had to borrow from James to buy a bucket of paint so we could waterproof the roof up here. That's how it is. And we got to the mailbox and there was a check for $200 from mom. I'm 71 years old, man, and I'm getting a check from mom. And thank God, because we were able to buy two pieces of plywood. So the back of the house that we're building is almost has a roof on it. And we're able to buy some this like roofing compound that you paint over the plywood that makes it, but we're expecting rain, which is rare here. So this is a kind of a thing that I'm no longer just like, okay man, I just do it for I do it for the gusto. No, this is fucked up. And like I said, I'm not asking you guys for money, but it's fucked up that I can't make a living. It's just, there's no excuse for it. It's fucked up also that these assholes from the UFT and for the Department of Education that were skimming all this money off and making all this money on textbooks were like $80 or $180 a pop. And they were just horrible textbooks. Anyway, so that's my gripe. I wanted to get my gripe out of the way initially, but I'm fully open now to massive amounts of success. And I look at other podcasters; they're all they're AI basically. They're like, it's Joe Rogan 2.0. And what does Joe Rogan talk about? Stuff that you and I have been talking about for 5 years. It's nothing new to us. This is bullshit. This is not news. And he's like, but so I'm just saying. And the other aspect of this, which I think is really interesting, is a lot of us have been misled, including myself, most of my life, thinking that, wow, man, I'm so talented. I'm just going to go out and I'll be a great success. Being talented has nothing to do with it. In fact, I talk to James, my friend James. I say, James, I'll bet in the Matrix, people give you a hard time. People are like, they don't appreciate you. They're like, out here, James is like a god to us. He takes every seed we eat. We go to this place called Sprouts in the West Coast, and we eat it. We bought a bag of organic plums, and they were delicious. And we give them to James, and James puts them in a little plastic bag, and he's gonna plant them. I mean, this is, so I told James, I said, in the Matrix, People, you're annoying to people because you're so good at what you do. You have no place in the matrix. Just like when I left home at 19, I thought being a really good banjo player would, and a good songwriter, I thought I was a good songwriter, would, I'd be successful. But apparently that has very little to do with it. It has to do with, did you sacrifice your mom or your dad? Like Bob Dylan. Who did he have? I don't know who Bob Dylan had to kill to get in with the devil. But this is what success is now. And it's been that way for decades, if not longer. And now we're finding out. Now I'm doing this thing today about the hippie movement, that all the rock and roll stars were sons of prominent military people in the MK Ultra crowd, the creepazoids who were running the world, the CIA. The CIA picked the Grateful Dead. They said they were a nothing band, and they just said, "We'll make them great." This the hidden hand. This is the hidden hand of reality here. So if you've been slaving away your whole life and you're thinking to yourself, hey man, my boss, like me in the Department of Education, 20 years I love to teach. I love real teaching. And I've had so many students that, they come to me, they see me on the bus, and when I was back in New York, and they'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Weber, man, you really changed my life. I'm a nurse now. I'm whatever. But because of you, because I would talk to them straight up. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I was considered a pariah by the Department of Education because I wasn't part of their money scam. I mean, I was not one of the. I was like, I had a target on my back. They wanted to get rid of me because they didn't know what to do with me because I was always opening my mouth and complaining about the bullshit, about the criminal activities that I was witnessing. But you can't do that. Okay, so that's kind of, so I'm just saying, I'm proclaiming to the world I am ready for tremendous success. I am ready to be able to go to Home Depot and say, "Hey man, can you just give me I'll take 66 sheets of plywood so I can finish my house. And do you mind delivering it at least to the highway, and I'll pick it up there?" That's the kind of life I should be leading. I should be, and I'm not saying it's not just me, it's all of us. We've all been fucked by the Matrix. Just like James is treated like dirt in the Matrix. I told James, I said, if somebody offered me, that James's weight, let's say he weighs maybe 160 pounds, I'm guessing, 180 pounds, whatever he weighs, in gold, in pure gold. If you could have someone scan the QR code, I don't know what that means. Oh, somebody scanned the QR code. Okay, cool. So no, but I'm saying to James, if somebody offered to give me your body weight in pure gold or have James work here, I wouldn't even stop for 1 second. I need James. I love James. I mean, James is like changed our life. We got chickens. We got, he's very meticulous. He's not like me. I'm just like, let's just get this thing going, man. But out here in the real world, talent is valued. I could never figure out. I said, I feel like I'm a talented guy. And why am I not successful? Well, I didn't sacrifice my firstborn son, God forbid. I'm not a Satanist. I'm not corrupt. I didn't even know what corruption was. But anyway, okay, so that's the first thing. I want to lead this into right. So who are successful? Who are the successful? If the wind gets to be too much, let me know and I'll close the window. What is the temperature there in Arizona? It's about 90 degrees, at least 90 degrees in the sun. I find it pleasant out here. I like to work. I can work all day. I'm working on the shady side of the house, but I, because it's so dry, we don't have a problem. And recently, Daniela acquired a swamp cooler. You guys have been telling me for years, get a swamp cooler. And I was like, no, we don't need a swamp cooler. We have an air, but because out here air conditioners don't work. Why? Because there's no humidity to take out of the air to cool it. You can't cool it by taking, because there's no humidity. We're in the desert. So a swamp cooler really works. And Danielle is so happy. She asked her father, she says, Ellie doesn't have any money. Could you buy us a swamp cooler, $200 for a swamp cooler? So we got her a swamp cooler. She's so much happier. She's just, because she stays inside the RV a lot. She does yoga and all this other stuff. And it's just good. Okay, so but yeah, but I mean, my ideas are all over the place. My ideas are primo. I'm sorry. I mean, I look at other podcasts and I'm like, what? You know, all of them. Oh well, he can dissect a Q post. I mean, who the fuck cares? We're talking about real ideas out here. I promote the real ideas that I pick out. I mean, I'm not. Hey, baby, you want to close the window? Okay, she's come. Daniela has come. She has a determined look on her inner face. Okay, so yeah, thank you, baby. Yeah, she's so good. She likes to sit by my broadcast. I mean, she's just faithful and sweet, and she can be a pain in the ass. I'm really the pain in the ass because certain things I'm very intolerant. I'm very intolerant of. She's very picky about food. My motto is, you know, I'll just give me food so I can eat because I'm not. I'm a foodie. I love good food, but I really could care less. I will eat food that's tasteless or food that's delicious. No, I won't. Why? Yes, I will.
You're not allowed to have his cheese.
I'm not allowed to eat stuff that's tasteless.
His cheese.
What?
His cheese.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Okay. That's another issue. Okay. The other thing I just wanted to report that we have now a source of water that is untouched by plastics. It may have spent a little time in a plastic storage unit, but we go straight into uh, our stainless steel tank, and we're drinking essentially well water from the tank. We also we drink water from the X2O machine. I drink it 2 or 3 times a day. I think it is really helping me. It is, I mean, we're building a house, man. I'm 71 years old. I'm standing on these big scaffolds and everything else to just try to get everything done. But this water is delicious, and it's worth the price here. Everything is worth it just to have good water. The whole thing about the children, that's regardless of you being paid or not. Yeah, I know it's all about the children, but you know what? It doesn't justify the fact that people in the matrix that are talented don't get paid. Of course, it's about the children. But that's I don't know, but whatever. Of course, there's always priorities. There's always another level. That's not the point. That the point is that I have a right to complain. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, thank God we aren't them. Yes, thank God we aren't them. But this is a slave planet, man. We're not going to complain. We're not allowed to complain. Oh yeah, I'm enlightened, man. I just turn the other cheek. It's okay, man. I've been fucked for the last 10 years by these assholes in the Department of Education and everybody else in the legal. What? Your Venmo? Okay. 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 She wants to put her Venmo. Okay. Because yeah, we're complaining. We shouldn't complain. I know we should just turn the other cheek and be. It's all about the children, man. Don't worry about it. Don't complain, Ellie. It's all about the children. I can't afford a fucking piece of plywood. Okay, I've been doing this for 10 years. And no one wants to buy LifeWave this time of year. That's what Daniela says. Nobody, if you were supporting me through LifeWave, and a lot of people are, that's beautiful. And we get paid. They'd rather give me money than buy LifeWave. Okay, so just give us money if you want to. I'm not emotionally involved in this thing. But I am pissed off, and I think I have a right to be pissed off, and I think I have a right to voice my pissed offness, because it's just a matter of material resources. We're not driving Lamborghinis. We're talking about a piece of plywood for $23. We're talking about ice cream for $6. What? Oh, okay. But so this is a perfect lead into my next story. Okay. So let's go to this one. Let's see if I can find this one right up off bat. Yeah. Okay. So this is okay. So this is the thing here. The thing is that your money, my money, it's not that I don't have money. I get money. I get a few $100s from LifeWave every week. But what does it buy me? We spent $250 at Sprouts just buying groceries. And I didn't really buy as many groceries as I really wanted. I would have spent another $100 if I had it. We spent exactly, because I believe in that we should all eat well. We're up in the desert, and um, okay, so that's another thing. But listen to Peter Schiff. Now, I met his mother-in-law by accident, so I have some kind of shaykhus, some kind of connection to Peter Schiff. But let's just watch this together, okay? Okay, now, okay, I can't do that. Okay, so I have to turn it on first. Okay, so let's go back to Peter Schiff and start it over. Okay, start.
Market. We've just destroyed the value of the currency that we use to price things in. Right. And so you need more dollars to buy stocks, but you don't need more gold. You could buy stocks with a lot less gold, because gold is real money. Government can't just create gold. They can't create inflation and create gold out of thin air like they do Federal Reserve notes, paper dollar. What that shows you is that the gain in the stock market is inflation. It's not real value that's been created in the market. We've just destroyed the value of the currency that we use to price things in. Right. And so you need more dollars to buy stocks, but you don't need more gold. You can buy stocks with a lot less gold, because gold is real money. Government can't just create gold. They can't create inflation and create gold out of thin air.
Okay, so that fits in with the idea of the money. The money we get is inflated beyond belief. $250, and I couldn't even buy half the groceries I wanted. There are three of us up here. It shouldn't, and that's, we're talking about, we're not talking about fancy stuff. We don't buy anything that's really produce. We do buy a few. We buy like a thing of yogurt. We buy some butter, a few things. But our money is valueless. It means nothing. I mean, I can't, like I said, I can't afford the plywood. Forget about ritzy siding or a tin roof. In the old days, oh, just put on a tin roof, man. You could afford it because the currency had some value. Now you can't buy anything. We go to Home Depot. It's just like, okay, man, take my money, and then they have the fucking balls to charge us tax. What are you taxing us? These are essential things. We're building a house. We live in the desert. This is not like, I'm buying fancy pieces of plywood. I'm trying to get a decent piece of plywood. And by the way, the quality of the plywood is nil. Most of the plywood is junk. So I'm paying this money, to $30 for a piece of plywood. I'm like, yeah, but whatever. Okay, so that's my thing. The money is not worth anything. The gold is. The silver is. That's why everybody tells people buy silver, buy gold. They're saying that silver right now they're saying silver could go up to $300 an ounce and gold could go up to 10,000. That's not such a big thing. And yeah, if you want to send money to Daniela, I mean Daniela and James are like, I'm saying, like, I'm telling them, we'll just have people up here and they can live without money. And they're like, no, 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 no. We're not doing that. I mean, I'd be okay with that, but they're not. They're like, no, we have to eat. It's so, and we have to buy clothes and I mean this kind of stuff. So, whatever. If you get value from this thing, and you feel like you're throwing money our way, I would not say no. But there's never enough. There's never enough money because the money does not buy anything. And so it's not like, I got $1,000 this week, everything's going to be okay. $1,000 goes like that. It's this and that. And I don't pay rent anymore. So I don't know how people survive when they do have to, you have to pay rent every month. I mean, my bill every month is that I pay Sam $500 for the trailer that I bought from him. And I'm almost done paying it off. But that's the thing, that the fiat is already junk. Okay, now I want to delve into, since I'm talking about finances, would it be okay to donate Cash App or Zelle? I don't know. Do you have Zelle, baby?
Yeah, for my juice account.
Okay, yeah, I think she has a Zelle account. Hold on. Let's see. Venmo. She has Venmo I put up.
I don't have a Zelle app though.
You don't have a Zelle app,
No,
but she has a Zelle address. I don't know. I don't know if I could find it, but anyway, yeah. You could send money through Zelle if you want. I can't seem to find it. Maybe I erased it by accident. Let's see, Zelle.
I could just use my phone number because I changed it.
You could use your phone number.
Or the email.
Or email. Okay. Yeah, I'll figure that out. We'll get it for next time. But I appreciate it. We did have. I had that up here, but I can't find it now. Republic. Yeah. There's your Instagram. You could contact her. You want to give me your Instagram number? LifeWave. Yeah. Okay. So you could contact her through Instagram and she'll.
Someone contact me through Instagram that I might have seen before you
Aha. They wanted to talk to us.
Yeah, about living matrix.
Okay. Yeah. So somebody wants to come live here. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you soon. Okay. So So now I want to take this idea of value, of money, of I'm going to read. Let me just read the article. Let the article speak for itself, because this is a fabulous analysis of, and I'm going to get to some other really cool things. Let's see where that is. Not there. Okay, this one I can take out. I can hear. This is. That's not the one I wanted to do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. So let's go back here. This is a phenomenal analysis, and I shared this with James because I think this is so important. Okay, this is why. This is the future of our lives. And to sum it up, that the idea of tokenization, which means that you will be able to use your XRP to invest in things that bring you pleasure. Okay, so let's just read this together. Tokenization will democratize global wealth, and Wall Street is terrified. Okay, imagine this: a farmer in rural Peru, a software engineer in Jakarta, or a small business owner in Cairo wakes up, opens their phone, and in minutes builds a portfolio that includes tokenized US treasuries, prime European real estate, blue chip equities, and commodity backed assets, all without a single bank account in New York or London, without expensive brokers, and without begging for accredited investor status. Like me, I wanted to buy an IPO of Ripple years ago. I wanted to buy into the company like no, it was like 10 years ago. And I was not an official accredited investor. I'm like, fuck you. I have to be an official investor to find, it's this kind of nonsense will be gone forever. Okay, and I want you to really indulge yourself. Just listen to what I'm saying. This is not science fiction. This is the quiet power of decentralized tokenization meeting borderless rails like XRP. Borderless. While the developed world sees incremental improvements in efficiency, the rest of the planet experiences something far more profound: 100% utility. In countries where capital controls, currency volatility, corrupt intermediaries, and regulatory gatekeepers have locked billions out of global markets, tokenization flips the script entirely. You no longer need a Western brokerage account, proof of high net worth status, weeks of paperwork and complicated hurdles, permission from legacy financial institutions. Like me, they would not take my money. Can you believe it? All you need is an internet connection and XRP, the digital bridge that moves value instantly, cheaply, and compliantly across borders. Real world assets, RWAS, real world assets, become truly global liquidity flows where opportunity exists, not where passports or bank relationships allow. This is financial inclusion at planetary scale. That means everybody will be able to sit down and invest in whatever you want, whenever you want. You can build a portfolio. You can use your imagination. You can wake up and say, I really am interested in mint tea from Jakarta. I think they have the best mint ever. I want to invest, these kinds of things, or whatever you want to invest in. This will, and you won't have to go, well, who are you to invest? The banksters, the criminals who have kept ordinary people from achieving this financial sovereignty. I'm going to go to this. All you need is this is financial inclusion at planetary scale. It is the first time in history that a teenager in Lagos or a retiree in Mumbai can allocate capital with the same sophistication a hedge fund in Connecticut. The symmetry is breathtaking. The beauty is not just access. Just focus on what I'm about to say. This is huge. This is where we're going. This is the future of the world, of our money, of our creative selves, which, it also blows my mind, by the way, that my information, I should be getting hundreds of thousands of people, original information that makes, I love Rush Limbaugh, but my information makes Rush Limbaugh look like a dinosaur. And yet, everybody is interested in, when is the EBS coming? When is the XRP going to the moon? It's like nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to produce what they're here to produce. Nobody wants to really work on themselves and change themselves into a creative being. This is going to be a new world. So This is financial at a planetary scale. It is the first time in history that a teenager in Lagos or a retiree in Mumbai can allocate capital with the same sophistication as a hedge fund in Connecticut. Those bastards. The asymmetry is breathtaking. The beauty is not just access. And here's the key to this whole article: it is sovereignty. Do you hear that? It's not just access. It's not just that you can invest. It's sovereignty. This is why I tell people you must be an investor, because it gives you sovereignty. It gives you power to be you, to be an independent, free person. So it is sovereignty. Individuals reclaim control over their financial destiny while institutions lose their monopoly on opportunity, right? So guys like me and James that are considered like, you know, tar babies in the matrix, you know, in the world of investing, we'll be able to we won't be held down. If you are in the global south or anywhere legacy finance left behind, this is your moment. Tag someone who needs to see this. The more people who understand the shift, the faster the old gates crumble. The future is not coming. It's already here, and it is borderless. So you could be living out in the bush in Australia, and on your cell phone you could be investing all over the world. You could have the same opportunity that some asshole in Connecticut. You went to Harvard and Yale and they did all the things that they were told, and they were given all the breaks because they were coming from the families that promoted MK Ultra and sacrificed all this other satanic nonsense. But this is where we're going. Okay, so it's not just access, it's sovereignty, meaning you will feel like a human being. You will have the opportunities to succeed in a financial way like you should have had all along. It's just that the elites, the criminal satanic elites, have kept it from us. Okay, so the biggest heist in American history exposed. The Federal Reserve just confirmed it. The NGOs sitting on 14 trillion combined assets. That's all your money. Where did your money go? It went through your taxes. It went to pay for 14 trillion in scammers. Okay, with like the Department of Education, they were buying textbooks that weren't even worth $20. They weren't worth the paper they were printed on, but they were sold for 120 or 180. And then they would have professional developments so they could give money to the companies, and they would have, I remember in the Department of Education, every other week they would have a new attendance platform, and they would have professional development where they paid people probably billions of dollars to train teachers to take attendance. This is where they put their money. Okay, so that's just in 63 U.S. banks on the brink of collapse with 517 billion assets in the FTC. Okay, so that's another thing. All right, now I want to go to a different information stream that blows my mind. Okay, this is information. I think this is the last point I wanted to make tonight. But actually, there are two things that I want to share. Okay, stop sharing. Now I'm going to go to. I hope you've been able to follow me. I'm a little loosey goosey right now. I can't really see so well because the light. You hate money, but you're begging for it. Yes, you know what? I love this guy. Thank you so much for showing your ass. Stupid troll. Okay. No, how do I get rid of? I want to get rid of this asshole. Hide. No, show. Okay, but how do I get? I can't see enough to be able to here we go. Okay. Electric agriculture, simple. Yeah, I have copper pipes in the ground. I've got that. Yeah, my garden is producing more than I can eat, way more than we can eat. So we're doing fine with the garden. I appreciate the help. Could you donate through Cash App or Zelle? Yeah, we'll do that. I'll get all that together. Okay, so yeah. Can I get rid of this idiot? Yeah, we don't need that troll. That's that stupid narcissist that she doesn't have a life, and she's been destroyed by the vaccine. So she likes to use her power to do evil things. Okay, so here's two sections that I want to read. These are really important. Remember, these are important things to consider. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, actually, there are three things. All right, let me get to this. All right, let me share this first, just because it's really so amazing. I'm going to play this little. I'll let the video speak for itself. Okay, let me go back here. This is okay. How do I do this now? Everything's so complicated. Okay, here we go.
CIA created the hippie movement, and your mom's favorite band probably helped them. In the 1950s, the CIA bought up the world's supply of LSD. They brought it to the pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly, who reverse engineered it, giving them an unlimited supply and a complete monopoly. Then the testing started. One early volunteer for these tests was Ken Kesey. Kesey wrote a book inspired by this experience, which became a bestseller. Then Kesey went on to host events, which he called acid tests. And he wasn't charging anyone, he just wanted people to show up and do acid. For these events, he hired an unknown house band called the Greatful Dead. These events became wildly popular, and with them rose the popularity of the band. So the Grateful Dead begins touring, and Kesey follows them around in a bus from show to show. And everywhere he went, he brought a vat full of Kool-Aid laced with LSD. This guy had a seemingly endless supply, exporting the hippie culture all around the US. Meanwhile, the CIA is flooding college campuses with LSD under the guise of research, and the Grateful Dead was just one of many bands in this movement. At the same time, in Laurel Canyon came a wave of musicians with something in common. They were all children of high-ranking military officials. The biggest names in music: Jim Morrison of the Doors was the son of an admiral. Frank Zappa's father was a chemical warfare specialist. Even Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Yeah, all three of them. And all of these bands as well. The theory is the CIA orchestrated the hippie movement to steer a very real anti-war movement into something a little easier to combat. Dissent without teeth. The hippie slogan was literally,
turn on, tune in, and drop out.
in other words, do acid and remove yourself from society. And a lot of them did drop out of society to go live in communes in the woods.
Okay, so I just understood the point of the hippie movement. So the hippie movement was just to make us to take away our teeth, so we wouldn't riot against the Satanists who were propagating the Vietnam War as a drug pushing, gun running, child trafficking, profit centered, money criminals. These are just hardcore criminals, but they made us all hippies. They gave us a bunch of acid so that we'd be peaceful protesters. I mean, when I started the protests, when I started as a protester when I was like 14 in high school, I mean, I was at the tail end of the baby boomers. We dropped acid, and I was pretty pretty adamant against the war, but whatever. I got into music, and I started traveling and all this cool stuff. I wanted to write music. Okay, so that's that report. I think that was very interesting, and I finally got the point. Now there are two more things I want to share. Let's see if we can do this easily. Okay, that's that one. This one. Let's try this one. Okay, the Q awakening. All right, let's go through this a little bit. Most people still think they're watching a game. They don't realize they're witnessing the most complex military operation in military history. What every headline, every scandal, and every failure was part of the plan. What if the chaos wasn't proof of collapse, but evidence of control? The truth isn't hiding in the noise, it's encoded in the operation itself. Nothing about 2017 to 2025 was random or unplanned. Every move, every delay, every loss was part of the same battlefield strategy that began long before the public realized a war had started. The world thought it was watching ordinary politics, but what was really unfolding was continuity of command guided by military law and strategic deception. Between 2018 and 2020, a web of laws and orders was set into motion. Title 10, Title 32, federalization directives. Each one prepared the battlefield before the public even knew there was a war. Every move was lawful. Every activation was pre-approved by the Constitution itself. Thank you to Derek Johnson, the map maker on this laws and the orders terrain where the media mocked and the crowd slept. A shadow chessboard was being played under unconventional warfare doctrine, where perception became the new battlefield and patience the deadliest weapon. Every headline was a move, every outrage a distraction. They told you to trust the plan. Few realized it wasn't faith they were asking for. It was composure during an active mission. If those orders were unconstitutional, why are they still active? Why no administration, no Congress, no court shut them down? Because they can't. They have lawful warfare directives operating under the same authority that launched the mission before 2021. The laws were written by patriots for this exact moment in history. This was never about a single election or a 4-year term. It was the execution phase of a plan written years before the public even realized it existed. President didn't just walk away, although we know he is central casting. He shifted theaters from the public stage to military oversight. And that's why 45 and 47 isn't a slogan. It's a continuum that the public saw an exit. The military saw the handoff of the battlefield in war. You don't announce your counteroffensive. You let the enemy celebrate their illusion of victory. This was that moment, a quiet maneuver beneath the noise, a controlled exposure designed to awaken the world while the enemy revealed themselves. The optics weren't chaos. They were a calculated theater. The so-called administration wasn't sovereign power. It was temporary fake, a puppet government used as a mirror to expose the rock, a movie for the blind, a mirror for the awake. Every blunder, every scandal, every collapse, all a piece of script designed to wake the sleeping masses. This wasn't politics. This was a psyop for the soul, designed to make the world question everything it thought was real. This is fifth generation warfare looks like. It's not fought with tanks and missiles. It's fought with narratives. Psyops are legal precision. The battlefield is your mind, the weapon information. Objective is consciousness. When changes are brought in 2023 and dropped in 2024, the world thought it was coincidence, but the official records referred to a sitting president. Think about that. The optics said former, the document said sitting. The illusion was the camouflage. The law was the proof and asymmetric warfare. Okay, so this is the bigger plan. That's why, so I should have probably played the video. I didn't. But this is the idea. This is all planned. This is all warfare. This is all strategy. Everything we're seeing. That's why I get so crazy, so discouraged when people like, I don't get a lot of hits on a video that talks about ascension, that talks about living your real soul's life. Because people would rather get excited and titillated by the idea that they're going to get saved next week. You know, the dinar is going to the moon. They would rather focus on that than on their own ascension, their own movement into creative responsibility and creative sovereignty. You know, you'll have financial sovereignty, you'll have life, you'll be able to choose where you live, all these things. But don't wait. That's my message. But it doesn't. People don't want to hear it. They want to go to the channels that are like easy peasy. Oh, we're about to be saved. Jesus is going to come and help me. The Mashiach is coming for sure. All I have to do is wait. I mean, well, I was an Orthodox Jew for 25 years. I'd be like, okay, man, let's go. The Rebbe said the Mashiach is here already. Let's go. And they were like, oh, no, we have to wait. The Mashiach is a real dude, man. He's not here yet. When he's here, we're really going to have a good time. I'm like, fuck you, you asshole, you stupid putz. Even the Rebbe said the Mashiach is here already. But you're like, oh, no, I got my grants from the government and, my kids are getting paid. They're getting the help for going to school. And, like, I'm like a little mouse and, it's okay if I get a few crumbs of life. That's what people want to hear. It's so exciting, man. Mashiach is coming. I know he's coming. Jesus is going to come in the air and he's going to come on a big balloon riding a donkey. It's like everything will be okay then. That is fucking bullshit. But that's what people want to hear because they're too lazy or too comfortable about their matrix life to open their fucking eyes and say, hey, man, it's time for me to eat the red pill and live a life. I mean, that's what we're doing up here. I love this life. I've chosen it. And, even though I can't afford the plywood, it's like we love doing what we do. And we don't mind if we have to struggle. We have to wait a few weeks. But we are making it happen. Anyway, okay, so that's my thing for today. Let me go to this last piece because the last thing that I want to share is absolutely mind-boggling and really had me in it has been mystifying me for ever since I saw it. Let me just get out of the sunshine. Okay, so here it is. Here's the last piece. This is about timelines, about a timeline shift. I'm not sure I really want to read the article, but I'm going to read a little bit of it and then just give a short take on it, and then we'll move on. Just to remind everybody, if you feel like you want to have really good health, come to LifeWave. Let's see if I can turn this on. No, I can't. Okay, so I have to do it this way.
Water sustains life. But what if it could do more than hydrate? What if it could deliver light directly into the body? Introducing the LifeWave X2O water technology system, the first and only water technology system that infuses water with light. Using patented light infusion technology, the result is hydration optimized at the cellular level, supporting metabolism and nutrient absorption. And through hydrogen infusion, delivering antioxidant properties that support the body's natural defenses. When hydration works at the cellular level, you feel it where it matters. You drink it, you feel it. A new era in cellular hydration, powered by light. LifeWave X2O.
Okay, so let me just put on, I'm sure you've seen it a million times, but yeah, if you want to try these patches, I mean, like Daniela said, people in the summer don't really want to try it, but they're amazing health. They're health tools, and this is X39, which stimulates stem cell production. It will keep you young. These patches will keep you young and vital. And I'm 71, man. I'm building a house. I was up on a scaffold on this side of the house today, and we're making progress little by little. It's slow because it's just me and James and Daniela, but we're making it happen, man. And so should you be. Everyone can be living their life's purpose. That's interesting about the hippie movement being to defang us from getting too crazy, about the theft of young lives and the theft of money that the Vietnam War was all about. Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, now I want to share this last post, which is a mind-boggling post about timelines. I'm going to let the post speak for itself. Let's see if I can find it. This is what John. Okay, we saw about the hippies. What's this one? Okay, maybe I. Okay, let me just try. Okay, the last one. If I can't manifest the article, which I think I can. Let's see. A controlled exposure. Okay, so we just saw that one. Let me just see if I can get this one. Or this, is it this one? No, okay. So I'm just going to summarize what I think I'm doing pretty good in being able to share. Okay, so I shared that thing about the Q plan and about fifth generational warfare. The thing that I can't seem to find it right now, but I'll find it for tomorrow, probably. This is a point that I want to make, and this was this is coming from a post. This post said, I think it's from a source called AB, which I could probably find if I really. I don't know how long have I been on? A long time. Okay, so this post from AB, I'll summarize what it is. In this post, they are saying that the timeline was shifted because of the JFK assassination, and that we have to, and that basically JFK was not assassinated. He was just removed from public sight, and that created a timeline shift that we have to go back to repair, just like in the Travelers, the show that I watched with Daniela. They have people come from the future to fix the past. We have to repair that. Apparently, according to this article, our governments stopped functioning at all. They were taken over by the military in 1963, November 22nd of 1963. So this Q war has not just been a couple of years since the COVID Holocaust. This fifth generational warfare has been taking place since the timeline was stolen from us by the creepazoid reptilians in 1963, and we have to complete all this. That in some respects, JFK is still alive. I just remember, and this is one of the most vivid memories of my life. I woke up early in the mornings and wrote, what I thought were like books. I would write pamphlets about this event. The death of JFK was I remember it like, I can see it right now. I was standing in the corridor of my elementary school. I was 9 years old, or 8 or 9 years old. And I just remember it as if it was yesterday. And I remember the feeling that my heart, I cried, I'm not sure I was able to cry at that point in my life. I was devastated. it was a devastating event. But apparently it goes deeper than that. That's when the timeline was shifted. Now, this idea of timelines and shifting, and this is a kind of a weird thing that we will, as a community, we will come to understand in the future in a better way. But I think it's very telling that they were saying it hasn't been continuity of governance since 2017. It's been continuity of governance since 1963, where they allowed Lyndon Johnson to be president, and the criminals just took over. At the same time, there was, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but I think this is the next wave of our understanding in terms of the narrative that we're dealing with Tartaria, we're dealing with a fake moon. I mean, I realize now that the reason I wasn't able to sleep is because the moonlight was touching my bed, and it gave me tremendous anxiety attacks, because the moon is not a moon. It's some kind of spaceship designed to keep us in a state of fear. But all this is going away. CERN is being shut down. All these things. I mean, it's a very complex soup of structures that are simmering together right now. But the idea that we are not, that this is not continuity governing from 2017, that we've been living our whole lives. I mean, my whole life. I remember the 50s, so I remember the old days. I was born in 1955, so I can remember what it was like to some extent, to a large extent, because I've been conscious my whole life. I've been awake. I've been thinking about. I've been metacognitive since I was probably born. But and a lot of you have probably too. So I really enjoy listening. You've been on for quite a while that I've been watching. Well, thank you, Linda Gore. I appreciate it. So yeah. So anyway, let's do it, man. Let's rock this world, and be yourself. That's the conclusion. But I'll try to get that post for tomorrow. But I think I've said enough in various things. I think the XRP is going to be amazing. I think we are in for a financial shift. We are, will the EBS? I mean, I don't care how it comes. It just, it is coming. And this could be a very big week coming up. There's a lot going on with Iraq, with Iran, but this is all an illusion. It's all part of the movie. And we're coming into, I hope, the final stages of this narration. So let's quick play a tune. Let's do. Oh gosh, all right. Let me try. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Let me just see. That's not really the one I wanted to play. Okay, let's see if I can do this.
Up on the front porch, Sunday at dawn. The night was hotter than hell and forever long. I can see the first light breaking through the trees. I feel the changes in the cool breeze of freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. We never saw it coming, hiding in plain sight. Banksters taking power, stealing our lives. They were looking to bury us in debt, shame and fear. But our roots grew stronger as we reached into the air. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. With each day we're rising up in this world with the power of love, with the power of peace, the power of joy, the power of truth, and the power of freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. It is a new morning. Every day is a new morning. I got my dream come true of having the studio. We now have a roof over the studio, which is pretty amazing. It's just, the building this house is every step of the way, it just seemed like I can't do that. I mean, how am I ever going to do a roof? And it's like, okay, just put up a rafter and we'll take it from there. It's just like, I just keep going. We're relentless in that way. And so too with this channel. And I really believe in peace. And I've been on this pathway for a long time. Took my first hit of acid in 1970, probably. I mean, it's just, it's been an amazing trip. And thanks for joining us. I'm sure a lot of you have the same experience. Use the force. Use your God-given creative power and manifest a life that is up to what you are really about, because things are about to change. There's no question about it. Things are really getting good. I don't want to focus on I just, there's so much news. Oh, the next week in Iran and the Hormuz means and what this means is bullshit. It's a movie. And you and I we've been through this movie so many times. We don't buy it. And I, if I don't get 100 hits on this video, what's new? It's like that. Is the sour grapes? Yeah, kind of. I'm thinking. I read Lenny Bruce's autobiography. Not that I'm on the level of Lenny Bruce, but it was just like, the guy just was really good, and he didn't make it the way he should have. Anyway, maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe this is all okay. I mean, the thing that Caspa, of Gary and Caspa, of Quantum Bridge, which I highly recommend you join Quantum Bridge on. I think they're on YouTube. I don't think they got taken down. The thing that Caspa said, and I have to take heart in it, is that he said, I said, Caspa, I'm putting out all these videos and like nobody really, it doesn't get like the kind of mass appeal that an idiot like Joe Rogan does, 2.0. He said, yeah, but he said, when people are ready, your stuff is already out there. So you won't have to feel like you have to hustle. And it's kind of like if you bought some XRP 5 years ago, Yeah, you didn't get it all scammed. You're set. You don't like, oh my God, I got to get some XRP. It's like you have it. You're already set. So use the force. Use the force. Be one's life. One life, it matters. Yeah, absolutely. Peppermint Patty, thanks for your encouraging words. We'll be back. Thanks, Linda Gates. This fall, yeah, Dawn Harwick. But don't worry about July 4th. I mean, we all knew nothing was going to happen. How much time did you and I waste with all these podcasters? I'm sure July 4th, the big day, everything's going to happen. It's going to be XRP. It's going to be the gold. The gold is going to be announced. Bullshit. This is a war. We are fighting a diabolic, Satanist, disgusting, child trafficking enemy who's stolen every drop of life from us, and we're still fighting. So yeah. So don't get, I didn't even think about it. I mean, Daniela was like, some people were like, hey, Ellie, what do you think is going to happen? Nothing and everything. Because what really happens, what Q says is, you are the news. You are the news. That's what's happening. You want to know what's happening? You are happening. Use the force. You are the force. Use source. Combine with source. If you're waiting for Mashiach, look in the mirror. You are the one. You are Neo. Oh, I get this stuff. This guy is the Mashiach. This guy. I'm like, Mashiach is, we are all have that ability. We don't have to wait for somebody to save us. We don't have to wait for a podcaster to tell us when is it going to happen, because when it's going to happen when you decide it's going to happen. May the force be with you. May source be with you. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face. This is fun, man. I love this. And rock the world.